we chose direct public offering because of the D. I'm just making this up because I'm not going to talk about it as if everyone listening is really a kind of an investor in their mindset. But it's really a direct public offering because it's direct to the audience that you want to reach. And when I first heard about it, I thought, you know, wow, I really like something that we're not just depending on others to take out to our community, but we're engaging our community in, because there's really nothing that TechSoup does in its work that isn't about engagement with the community. You know, we have had an administrative fee model. We've had many services and things like events and educational content and so forth that we've offered over the years without any kind of administrative fee. And then we've also had many donations, $11 billion worth of those kinds of resources going to organizations around the world who have been willing to choose to come to TechSoup to find those resources and been willing to pay an administrative fee to do so. So in a sense, all of those nonprofit organizations are what have created a pretty helpful community resource. You know, we get a lot of good feedback from nonprofits. It's positive. We get a lot of what I feel often as an inspiration and love from that audience, but we also hear a lot from them about what we don't have and what they still need and what they would like to see us do and how we can improve what we do, which in many ways that is golden, and that is actually even more valuable to our mission and our work than money. But like any nonprofit organization, of course, we have to sometimes have that monetary resource to invest as well. We have in this direct public offering, there are really kind of three different communities of investors that we're inviting in. There may be those very large corporations or foundations or people who have the ability to give at a very high level. And we have also a level for people that may be just individuals who want to be, who may be accredited, which is a formal term, or a non-accredited investor who have a certain amount of wealth themselves. We do want their support, but we certainly want to feel that the big stakeholder group that are the nonprofits and the community people that we're working with, who why should they not be impact investors? I mean, they have certainly a lot of direct interest in impact, right? That's what their work is all about. They deserve to also be impact investors with something that may be in an affordable range for them to commit. A $50 kind of investment allows them to, the terms of that agreement is that money comes back to them. It's a loan to us, and there's also interest on it. And they'll also have the opportunity to guide us and shape where we go, and as you say, hold us accountable. And a way that's also consistent with where needs are going and how things are changing, because we know that we're meeting some amount of needs, but there are many other needs. You know, the digital revolution and transformation and potential and possibilities of newer technologies, and the way that people need to choose and use and optimize technologies, and the kind of knowledge they need. You know, we sometimes hear from customers, it's really great that I went to this great TechSoup course on using a tool, but I also need to understand the strategies for using. Why is that technology helpful to me, right? So I love it that our community of nonprofits that we work with is really making us smarter about how to help them and how to take them closer to a kind of a programmatic edge of how do we deliver value back to our community using technology, not only helping us with servers and the back office technology, and both of those are important, and obviously the actual work that's being done at the community level is the most important, but I feel like this real potential of digital technologies to have an impact is it has to be on a continuum there that we need to move forward on. What you describe is really a movement towards solutions. And today we have some of the piece parts of solutions, and we can make them available. But I know that when I hear people talk, when I'm at nonprofit events and I hear people talk, even maybe they don't even realize TechSoup is in the room, and if they're I happen to go to a lot of sessions about technology, of course, but I hear people talking about when I had this particular need or this particular project and I was trying to develop a solution, the first thing I did was go to TechSoup to see what resources resources I could get there, and I got some good things, and they talk about that. But then they say what else they needed. Like, they needed to find a certain kind of consultant who understood not only, maybe how to put a website together that was effective, but also understood something about nonprofits, right, in the context, or maybe the social issue that they particularly work in. They needed education themselves. They have good staff members, but maybe they haven't had the opportunity to learn about all the technology that's just become available in the last decade, or the latest and greatest tools, right? And there's a lot of kind of, for the people who are managing the technology, there's a lot of users who now know all about apps and things that they're seeing and that they think should be the solution, but all of a sudden that takes a kind of a different set of skills to manage that effectively, right? So those are all capacities that I think can help us help people build solutions at the individual organization level. But then there's also what you talked about, which is terribly exciting to think that as an organization who is really just a network of community members really working in network, bringing those connections together to do things that might change more dramatically an entire social issue, or the applications available to people, or the practices around it to make it successful. That potential is pretty exciting. Yeah. But in general, I think for civil society around the world to have a very strong infrastructure backbone enables a lot of flowers to bloom for people who are working on social issues. And those social issues are often extremely hyper local. And the import of doing that work at the local level is really important. And the value of connecting that local work to more regional or global work is also important, because that's the way we may be able to lower costs and increase scale of that kind of impact.